Hello, this is Debbie Spencer, and this is my third video, which I am making for my YouTube channel, Debbie Spencer. And this one was made in 2012. It is one of my treasured altered Victorian albums, which uses a genuine album of the time and repurposes it into a beautiful coffee table art book in this case. Again, long before I heard about junk journals, these were the kind of books that I was making. You can see the beautiful celluloid cover of this one, and the spine and back, although the plush is faded and discolored, I left it because I thought that that really paid tribute to its age and the fact that it's still around. In this particular case, I wanted to keep the brass hardware intact, but I did not want to have to limit the size of the book, and it wouldn't clasp anymore. So what I often do in that case is I attach a ribbon to the cover, slip it through the clasp, and then I can tie it. And I still end up with a book that closes and leaving as much of the album intact as I can. One of the things I most enjoy doing is combining modern paper crafting bits with beautiful ephemera from the past, and I think you can see this very well here. As a background, I used a collection called Places in Time from Graphic 45 to get the calendar signatures and also titles here, and to just kind of give each spread kind of a neutral background that I could then enhance. These are all vintage pieces, either postcards or trade cards. This is a calendar from 1924, I guess, and I used the whole thing, because I just thought it was too pretty to take apart. This is something else that I enjoy doing. I like using these optical lenses. I don't know if you can see that. But basically, I have many of these. I do sell them in my Etsy store, Altered Art Treasures. And in this case, I've simply filled it with gears and watch parts to kind of signify the new year. And then from the bottom, I oftentimes do what I call danglies, and in this case we've got a clock charm and a couple crystals hanging from it. So that would be my January spread. My February spread features vintage Valentines. This one that opens, a couple of vintage postcards, combined with modern paper crafting flowers and kind of a rust and red shade. The little Cupid doll piece features a calendar from 1915, and I added like little charms, the basket, the key, along with the ribbons I like to snake, and in this case a couple little heart charms. For the March spread, I was lucky enough to find this beautiful shamrock doily, which was imported from Ireland, and I combined that with several different kinds of shamrocks, a couple of St. Patrick's Day postcards, a piece of vintage music, Wearing of the Green, a Tim Holtz date for the 17th, and I'm not sure if I have a dangly for that one. If I did, it might have fallen off. I would probably replace it at this point. Because I was limited in how thick I could make the book and still have it close in any capacity, I combined April and May because of the color palettes were compatible. The gold pieces are called Dresden scraps. You can get them modern. Occasionally you can also get them vintage. They were part of the Victorian scrapbooking collection of things that you could use. This lovely little book opens. This is actually, I think it's bone or celluloid, but it is a bookmark with crocuses painted on it. And for Mother's Day, I kind of went with the take of it being the month of birthdays and Mother's Day celebrations. So I kind of used the motherhood theme and some beautiful purple violets or pansies. This is a calling card or a trade card. For June, I decided to give tribute to the month of weddings, and I love this vintage gift enclosure card, along with some vintage pieces and some modern paper crafting supplies. These are, I think, are vintage millinery hat pieces that I kind of dedicated to this. I don't know if there's a dangly for that one. Maybe the wedding bells kind of speaks to that as well. For July, we went with a patriotic theme here. I love this little book because it opens, it tells the history of our flag. A modern paper crafting or maybe a needlecraft applique with some little scraps I've just gotten from here and there, and postcards. Once again, I combined August and September and kind of chose to go with the golden harvest theme. This is an actual sunflower seeds packet. Little charm of a bee. Sunflower pieces which echo the vintage piece. And here I've kind of decided that not only would I go with harvest with the pears, but also with back to school. So I've got some alphabet ribbon. This is a list of teachers from a vintage piece. These are from a game with cards that a teacher could read. One I think has to do with history, the other with math. A reward of merit. Kind of used a number of layers here, and I've got a little watering can, if you can see it, as my charm. I'm not sure I would have the nerve to make this page again had I known what vintage vintage Halloween postcards are worth, but here they are, and I've used them, and I'm sure they'll stay happily here for another 100 years. This was actually a needlecraft piece that I made. These are all beads, and the trick-or-treat theme. I love these flourishes with gems. I think the dangly is some fall leaves and tassel. Thanksgiving features fall postcards, and this seemed perfect. That's the actual signature, wishing you a happy Thanksgiving, and I used a little miniature fork. I have lots of vintage Thanksgiving pieces, and I dedicated a few to this project, along with some little straw flowers, stamps, a little eyelet. I don't know if you can see it, of a turkey with another tassel, some buttons. And the final spread is Christmas. And its little dangly is again a tassel and a bell and some beautiful Christmas postcards in the traditional colors of red and green. The date, some of these are from old collections of scrapbooking and a vintage needlework piece. So thank you very much for watching. I'll be making more videos not only of some of my upcycled vintage Victorian albums, but also of several different styles of junk journals. And I am glad you watched. Thank you.